The anime is about Futaba, a first-year middle school student, who is also one of the most gorgeous girls in the entire school. Because of her beautiful looks, many boys have a crush on her. However, this is also the reason no girl is willing to include her in their group. They find it pathetic for her to act cute in front of boys and have their attention. But despite it, Futaba is able to bear this loneliness because every day she is able to see her crush. Tanaka is also a first-year student, who is in the next class. He is not very popular because of his small height and soft voice. But for Futaba, just a glimpse of him is her salvation. Whenever she looks at his laugh, her heart can't help but beat rapidly. When their eyes accidentally meet, they both look away immediately, but then slowly they again try to reconnect. One day on her way home, after a sudden rain, Futaba gets completely drenched and decides to take shelter in a nearby shrine. But soon she realizes she is not the only one here. She has a little peek and notices it's Tanaka, her crush, standing over there. Both of them have a few seconds of silence, until Futaba gathers her courage to ask Tanaka if he is planning to go to the summer festival. Tanaka doesn't answer. He gives his shirt and tells her to dry off using it. Futaba, while blushing, wipes off and thanks him. When the next day she returns the shirt, Tanaka asks her if she would like to go to the festival with him. While blushing, he gives her the time and place if she decides to come. A few days later, like usual, a boy is hitting on Futaba. He asks her why she is spending a lot of time with that boy from the next class. Futaba doesn't want to answer, but when he keeps on being persistent, in frustration she tells him this is the reason she hates all the boys. Tanaka happens to hear it. He doesn't say anything and quietly leaves. At the summer festival, like told, Futaba waited for hours and hours for Tanaka, but he never came. When the school resumes, she finds out that he has transferred to another school. And just like that, her little love story ended before it could even start. 3 years have passed since then, but Futaba still thinks about Tanaka. She is now a first-year high school student and has 2 friends, Asumi and Chi. Learning from her past experience, Futaba is scared of being left on her own. So to prevent it, she has lowered her feminine appeal by building her image as someone who doesn't care about her looks. She eats a lot and acts differently, just so other girls would accept her and not target her. Whenever a boy compliments her beauty, she tries her best to make sure he doesn't think like that anymore. And as Futaba intended, it worked. She mixes in with other girls. But instead of her, a girl named Yuri becomes the center of attention. All the girls badmouth her for trying to be cute in front of boys and stay away from her. One day during lunch, Futaba is on her way, when she hears someone calling Tanaka. She immediately looks in that direction, only to see it's someone else. All the excitement she had just vanishes. But just then, she accidentally bumps into a student. The boy returns the bun and tells her to be careful. Futaba immediately recognizes it's the voice of Tanaka she knew. Even though the voice is heavier and he is a lot taller, she believes it's her Tanaka. She follows him and is about to call his name, but when someone else refers to him as Ko, she stops. Even though the boy has a somewhat similar look to Tanaka, she can't believe it's someone else. Futaba is at least glad she didn't call his name, or it would have become awkward. After school, on her way home, she has an encounter with Ko. Futaba clarifies that she is not a stalker, it's just that her house is this way. Ko doesn't say anything and keeps on walking. After some time, Ko enters the shrine. Futaba remembers the first time she talked to Tanaka. She starts to blush and with a bit of hope, goes inside as well. She gathers her courage and asks if his name is Tanaka. But Ko refuses, it is not. Futaba is heartbroken. She apologizes for her mistake and is about to leave when Ko reenacts the same conversation he first had with her. Futaba knows there is no mistake, the person in front of her is her Tanaka. Ko shares that after his parents divorced, he changed his name. And in fact, since their first year started, he was waiting for her to recognize him, but she wasn't able to. Ko gets up and asks for a hug as they are meeting after so long. Futaba freaks out and refuses that she is not into such stuff. Ko calms her down and assures he is just joking, because he knows how much she hates boys. Futaba admits that it's true she hates boys, but for her he was special. She confesses that even now she still loves him. Ko is happy to hear it, and also confesses that he felt the same way. However, not anymore. Those things he experienced were in the past. Now things have changed and they both are different. Futaba, who was once excited, is now crying. It's so frustrating to her that she is not able to sleep properly. The scene shifts to the next day. As usual, Futaba is buying a lot of food to make sure her feminine appeal is low. But unluckily, the person next to her is Ko. Futaba is devastated. She pays the money, but as she is about to leave, another staff stops her and accuses her of stealing the food. Futaba tries to explain she has already paid, but the staff does not believe her. Even Futaba's friends are in shock and don't believe how she can do something like this. But then Ko tells the staff that Futaba has already paid and that she can confirm it with the other staff over there. After knowing the truth, the staff tries to leave quietly, but Ko demands her to apologize. With a bitter mouth, she apologizes. Futaba thanks Ko. She expresses how mad she was at first, but now she feels much better. Hearing this, Ko asks Futaba how she can be with her so-called friends who don't even trust her. He tells her that she is just playing a pretend friendship game. After saying this, Ko leaves. Futaba looks at him and realizes it's not the person whom she loved. First, he helps her, but then he says these cruel things. At class, the homeroom teacher tells Futaba to bring some notes from the teacher's room. Before going, Futaba asks Asumi and Chi to help her carry the notes, but when they refuse, she goes without them. On her way, she notices Yuri outside eating alone. Futaba tells her to stay inside because it's cold, but Yuri assures her she is fine. As a thanks for talking to her, Yuri gives Futaba a handmade keychain. She knows every girl in the class hates her for trying to be cute in front of the boys, but whenever a boy talks to her, she just gets nervous and ends up speaking that way. And because it's hard for other people to convince them to like her, she prefers staying alone and not changing. Listening to Yuri, Futaba somewhat understands what Ko earlier meant. Before leaving, she gives Yuri a hand warmer as a thanks for the keychain. On her way, she notices Tanaka-sensei scolding Ko for having bad marks despite being in advanced classes. He fears if Ko doesn't get serious, he will fail and stay in the same grade. Futaba, hearing Ko is in advanced classes, wonders how on earth he is this intelligent. She gets in the room and takes the notes. But because they are so heavy, she asks for Ko's help. However, he refuses and leaves. Tanaka-sensei apologizes for Ko's behavior and helps instead. On the way, he asks her if she is friends with Ko. Knowing they both have known each other since middle school, Tanaka-sensei is happy and requests Futaba to take care of him. Upon entering the class, Chi and Asumi notices the bunny and ask about it. Futaba tells them what happened. On hearing Yuri was eating alone, they starts making fun of her. They are happy because girls like Yuri deserve to have no friends. Futaba starts to remember the time when other girls used to think the same about her. She asks both of them if they don't want boys to look their way, because she knows most girls do. But when someone is cuter than them, they start insulting her, so that they can feel better about themselves. It's the most pathetic personality someone can have. But soon Futaba realizes what she just said. Asumi and Chi, after knowing what Futaba thinks about them, end their friendship and leave. Futaba is devastated to see all the work she did to prevent not ending up alone is now destroyed. She is emotional and heads out. As she is leaving, Yuri shows her appreciation for standing up for her. But Futaba clarifies she was just standing up for her past self. Outside, she is alone wondering if what she did was the right thing. Ko happens to see her alone and asks where is her so-called friends. Futaba stands up and starts blaming Ko. Because of him, she said those words to her friends. Ko calmly asks if it's really his fault. Futaba starts crying and admits that it was her fault. Just so she didn't end up alone, she lost herself and became what she didn't want to be. Futaba feels so miserable that she is unable to hold back her tears. She notices people coming from every side and starts panicking about what will happen if they see her crying. But Ko gently pulls her towards him and hugs her. Futaba knows Ko is helping her, but this is just too much. She smells his cologne, and remembers the familiar fragrance she smelled when they were playing hide and seek. Ko calms her down and tells her to not worry because now she has found herself again. As Ko leaves, Futaba looks at him and wonders if the Tanaka she knew has come back, or if it's just Ko being nice to her. Back at the class, as expected, Futaba stays alone. This lasts for the rest of the first year. On the very last day, just to ease the burden, she apologizes to Asumi and Chief for the rude tone. She expresses it's true, that is how she feels, but she should have said in a better way. Asumi and Chi just ignore her and leaves. Yuri approaches Futaba. All this time she wanted to ask her but couldn't have the courage until now. She asks Futaba if she would like to become her friend. Futaba cannot ask for anything better, and happily agrees. After Yuri leaves, she feels a strong desire to see Ko. Futaba finds Ko and thanks him for helping her, because now she can again start from scratch. Just then, Tanaka-sensei comes and reminds Ko that today he will be coming to cook dinner and will stay the night as well. Futaba misunderstands and starts to blush. Ko pinches her cheeks and tells her that they are siblings. Tanaka-sensei has seen both of them together a lot of times and asks if they are dating. Ko with a disgusted face says that no way he will go out with someone who eats like a pig. Futaba gets pissed and reminds him that he used to love her in middle school. But Ko counters by saying at that time he lied because he got nostalgic. Tanaka-sensei is loving the interaction. On knowing her name is Futaba, he remembers the time when he caught Ko writing the same name in his notebook. As he is about to tell her that, Ko grabs Futaba's hand and runs away. On the way, she asks Ko a lot of questions about his family. Like why he doesn't live with his brother, or with whom he now lives. Ko finds it irritating and tells Futaba that it's none of her business. Futaba looks into his eyes and asks how he can even say this. The person whom she loved suddenly disappeared for 3 years, and now when he is in front of her, she doesn't know a thing about him. Ko apologizes for being rude earlier. He asks if she waited for him at the summer festival. Futaba starts crying and expresses how long she waited for him. Ko feels bad. Despite hearing she hated all the boys, he still planned to meet up with her. However, during that summer vacation, a lot of trouble happened in his family, and afterwards, it was difficult for him to meet her. Futaba realizes a lot of things happened in Ko's life that she isn't aware of. It might be insensitive topics that Ko might not be comfortable sharing. So she doesn't ask any further questions and they both walk home. At night, we get to know that like usual, Tanaka-sensei has prepared the dinner, but no matter how much he waits, Ko for some reason never returns home whenever he is there. Finally, the second year begins. Futaba checks her class and on seeing Yuri in the same class as hers, she is very happy. But to her surprise, Ko is also in the same class. She starts to blush, and promises herself that she is going to build her image from scratch. But soon her confidence gets destroyed when some of the girls recognize Futaba as the one who had a huge fight with her classmates. And because of it, they are now planning to stay away from her. At lunch, Futaba is sitting alone sad, wondering how to take her first step. Ko sees her depressed and approaches her. Knowing she is desperate to take her first step, he suggests her to not rush and instead wait for the opportunity. Finally, it's the last class of the first day. The class representatives need to be decided before the school ends, but no one is volunteering. To make it quick, the homeroom teacher tells them he will not let them leave unless class leaders are decided. Futaba remembers Ko's words and believes this is the right opportunity. She stands up and volunteers to be the female representative. She comes in front and takes on the procedure. For the male representative, Ko volunteers. Futaba thanks him thinking he did for her, but Ko tells her she is not so special that he would volunteer for her. He just wants to wrap this up as quickly as possible and go home. Lastly, for the event representatives, Yuri volunteers first. After her, Shuko volunteers. And without wasting even a second, Minato also joins. With all the leaders being decided, the teacher informs them about a leadership training held from tomorrow in which all of them have to come. Ko finds it lame. But Futaba is excited to see she is already starting a new chapter in her life. So the following day, just as planned, Futaba goes to Ko's house so together they can go to the bus station where everyone else is waiting. After pressing the bell a lot of times, Ko finally answers the door. But on seeing his bare body, Futaba starts screaming. Ko quickly takes her inside so that the neighbors don't have any misunderstanding. He tells her to wait until he gets a shower. Futaba is furious to see Ko isn't ready yet. She pushes him and tells him to do it fast. But soon she starts to blush upon realizing she just touched Ko's bare body. After some time, Ko is ready to go. They manage to arrive at the train station on time. But they soon have to go back because Futaba left her bag at Ko's house. With just a few minutes remaining, they made it to the train. However, Futaba soon realizes she picked her usual train to school and they had to go the opposite direction. On the other side, the teacher is notified about the situation and furiously tells Tanaka-sensei to inform the two students to come to the site on their own. After they arrive at the site, both of them are scolded for being so careless. At the cafeteria after changing, Ko and Futaba along with others have lunch. Tanaka-sensei comes and tells both of them to write an apology letter before the end of the day. After he leaves, Shuko with a pissed face tells Ko to be careful of his actions. She doesn't like how because of his stupid mistakes, it's Tanaka-sensei who has to suffer. Ko doesn't say anything and just eats. To improve the mood, Futaba changes the topic and talks about how she didn't think Shuko would have an interest in being a class representative. After their first interaction, she didn't thought Shuko would be interested in engaging with others. But Shuko says it's true, she doesn't like these things. Ko laughs and asks Shuko why she was lecturing him earlier when she herself is not even ready to take responsibility. Minato doesn't like it and tells Ko to not speak in such a way to a girl. Because of all this, the mood spoils and both of them leave. And to make the matter worse, as Yuri is about to leave, Minato takes Yuri's cupcake thinking she isn't eating it. And now Yuri is really pissed. Even after lunch, the mood is carried on. Each team is required to answer what's the purpose of the school events, but no one is cooperating. At night, the teacher randomly picks Ko's class to ask their answer. Futaba is freaking out because she has only written 2 words. Ko takes the paper and stands up. He makes the answer on the spot and answers other questions as well. Futaba is amazed and thanks Ko, but internally she feels pathetic about herself. At night, Ko comes asking if she has written anything for the apology. But Futaba is sitting, frustrated to see the one thing she was given to do as a leader, she wasn't able to do it properly. And on the other hand, Ko easily answered it. She is frustrated with herself and wants to be like him. Ko sits down and lies his head on the table. He tells her that it's a good thing to be frustrated because it means she wants to prove something. As Ko is talking, they both suddenly turn their head at the same time. Their eyes meet, but Ko quickly turns to the other side. While he is telling her not to feel frustrated so easily, Futaba notices Ko's nape looks the same as before. But now his words feel like a stranger. While putting her hands on his hair, she sniffs it. Ko is surprised. He holds her hand and asks if she still loves him. Futaba blushes. She indeed wants to know about Ko but is confused about whether this feeling is love or not. It's also because this Ko is different from the one she knew in middle school. So she refuses she doesn't love him. She was only remembering his younger version. Ko tells her to stop looking for the old him, because it's annoying. If she wants to start everything from scratch, then she needs to abandon the old memories. Or he asks, if it's just she is incompetent. Futaba gets annoyed and realizes she definitely doesn't like this version of Ko. The following day, everyone is helping in cleaning. And clearly, Futaba is not in the mood to talk to Ko. Minato asks Yuri if she knows anything, but she ignores him and leaves. Yuri on her way accidentally hears Shuko talking with Tanaka-sensei. Sensei wants Shuko to go and help her team, but she doesn't want to. She wants to be with him. Tanaka-sensei reminds her that he is her teacher and their relationship cannot get closer than this. Shuko insists on staying, but when he scolds her for it, she quietly leaves. On her way, she notices Yuri has heard everything. On the other side, Futaba is still angry with what Ko said. But she is starting to realize what Ko said was indeed harsh but right. She calms herself down and decides to get along with Ko because she doesn't want to ruin this trip. As she is searching for him, she notices a girl confessing her love to Ko. Futaba quickly hides but doesn't realize she is holding two third-year boys' arms. The boys are impressed to see how straightforward she is. They ask with whom she wants to go out. Before things go out of hand, Ko comes and clarifies that she is his girlfriend. They apologize for the misunderstanding and leave. On the way, Ko asks her what she was trying to do. Futaba says that she wants to make up. Ko tells her it's fine because he doesn't take these things seriously. After meeting with others, they start their orienteering. Each team is required to reach the checkpoints and answer the questions to receive points. This is to improve the team coordination. Soon they reach their first checkpoint. There they have to taste the juice and identify the ingredients in it. For every ingredient correctly identified, the team will receive 1 point. Everyone takes a sip, and Ko is quick to find out that one of the ingredients is celery because he hates it. At first, Shuko wasn't participating, but after knowing the juice is made by Tanaka-sensei himself, she wastes no time to drink it. She identifies another ingredient and with this, they receive 2 points and a keyword. With this, they continue to the next checkpoint. On the way, Shuko thanks Yuri for not telling anyone. Futaba notices them and asks what they are talking about. But Yuri doesn't tell her and says it's nothing important. Futaba doesn't feel right to pry any further and minds her own business. Soon, they complete all the checkpoints and gather all the keywords to reach the finish line. After brainstorming, they realize it's near the largest lake. With enthusiasm they continue, however, they end up getting lost. They hear the river and believe the finish line is on the other side of the river. One by one they cross it. Futaba's ankle gets twisted but Ko saves her from falling. Yuri is having a hard time crossing the river because she is scared. So Ko goes there to help her. He calms her down and slowly crosses the river. As they continue walking, Futaba is not able to walk properly because of her twisted ankle. She doesn't tell anyone and continues walking while bearing the pain. Ko notices her and immediately understands her leg is in bad shape. Minato suggests that everyone stays here, while he goes to the finish line and brings the teachers here. But Ko doesn't want the team to split up. He gives his bag to Minato and tells Futaba to get on his back. Futaba gets embarrassed and refuses. Ko tells her to not be this childish and quickly get on so they are not late. Finally, Futaba agrees and gets on. They walk for another 30 minutes and finally reach the finish line. Even though they came last, they all are happy. At night, while everyone is sleeping, Futaba again asks Yuri about her earlier interaction. Yuri realizes Futaba has a misunderstanding. She tells Futaba that she is the first person to stand for her when nobody else did. She promises her she is not going to leave her side. After listening to Yuri, Futaba has a relief. All this time she was scared that Yuri would become Shuko's friend and like others leave her side. She thanks Yuri and promises she will also not leave her side. The next day, it's still early and Futaba sees Ko going out. She asks him what he is doing up so early. Ko says he just felt like watching the sunrise. He gives his jacket to her so she doesn't feel cold. Futaba wants to share this moment with the rest of her team, so she goes inside and wakes them up. Everyone comes and watches it. With this great view, everyone is looking forward to the rest of their second year. For Futaba, this trip was a great way to start her new chapter. Later in the day, they get on the bus and head home. By the evening, Futaba and Ko arrive at their station. After Ko leaves, Yuri messages Futaba that she has forgiven Minato and also that she has fallen in love with Ko. The following day, Futaba on her way to school is still thinking about Yuri's message. Upon arriving, Yuri greets her. She asks Futaba if she is also interested in Ko as they have shared the same middle school. Futaba immediately refuses, saying not at all. Hearing this, Yuri has a relief. During lunch, while both of them are sitting together with Shuko, Yuri asks Futaba what Ko was like in middle school. She wants to know everything about him, what he likes and what he doesn't. Futaba thinks back and shares how small he was, with a polite and soft voice. But now, he is the total opposite. Always trying to be cool despite being an underachiever. Ko heard it all. He gives a headlock and asks if he is soft now. After freeing her, as Ko sits on his chair, Minato, while looking at Shuko, tells Ko that a man should never do something like this to a woman. Ko counters him by asking why he is trying to be cool, when he brought dirty magazines to the workshop. Minato panics, and tries to deny such an accusation, but Shuko with a cold face says that she doesn't care. Everyone laughs at Minato. After school ends, the teacher tells Ko and Futaba to make a report on their workshop. After everyone leaves, Futaba and Ko sit together and start working. However, she is having a hard time because she is nervous. She can't help but notice Ko's long fingers, his eyes, and how wavy his hair is. But she is also feeling guilty now that her precious friend has a crush on the same person. However, because she has been staring at Ko this whole time, he is furious at her for not writing it as quickly as possible. He looks at the report and scolds her for not writing anything. Just then, Tanaka-sensei comes and tells both of them to put the report on his table because he is going out for a bit. Just before he leaves, he sees something and tells Ko that he is not that stone-faced. Ko checks his back and realizes it's Minato who put it to take revenge. He tells Futaba to take it out. As she comes closer to pull it, she looks at his nape and wonders how cute it is. Ko gets chills. He tells her to not sniff his hair again. Futaba panics. She tries her best to refuse such an accusation. But then Ko reminds her all the time she sniffed his hair. When he was carrying her during orienteering, at night when they had to write the apology. And also, when they were playing hide and seek in middle school. Futaba is busted. She doesn't know what to say anymore. Ko takes her report and starts helping her with it. After completing the report, they both are on the way to submit it. Futaba feels like if she stays any more longer with Ko, she will again fall in love with him. And because she wants to respect Yuri's feelings, she decides to submit the report by herself, thinking Ko will leave for home without her. But to her surprise, Ko doesn't leave. Futaba doesn't like this at all. All these little things Ko does is making her fall in love with him again. On the way to the station, Futaba is now conflicted about whether she should pursue her love or respect Yuri's feelings. Unable to decide by herself, she comes up with an idea. After Ko gets on the train, she tells him that she forgot something in school. Futaba is lying. She has decided, if Ko doesn't get off the train, she will give up on him, but if does, she will fall in love with him again. As the announcement is made for the door closing, Futaba closes her eyes and hopes Ko gets off. After the train leaves, she opens her eyes and Ko is standing in front of her. He tells her to let's quickly get the stuff. But then Futaba apologizes, saying she didn't forget anything. Ko is just speechless. He asks if she is not feeling well. Futaba replies yes, so they both sit down until the next train comes. Ko buys a water bottle for Futaba. After she drinks it, Ko takes it back to drink. But Futaba starts to panic. She can't believe they are going to have an indirect kiss. But before Ko drinks, he notices her staring. Ko thinks she doesn't like someone drinking directly, so he drinks it by pouring it. After a few minutes, they arrive at their station. Futaba needs to buy a shampoo for herself, so she bids goodbye and goes to the convenience store. While shopping, since now Futaba has decided to fall in love with Ko, she is thinking how she should say it to Yuri. After buying her stuff, she is on her way home, when she has an unexpected encounter with her middle school friend Yumi. But instead of being happy, Futaba is a bit shocked to see her. While they are sitting in the park, we go back to a few years ago when Futaba and Yumi were in middle school. Both of them were very good friends. Even when most of the girls tried staying away from Futaba, it was Yumi who stayed by her side and encouraged her to not feel bad for being popular among boys. But one day Yumi suddenly stopped talking. Futaba never knew the reason, but the only thing she understood was that her only friend left her side. While they are sitting, Yumi confesses she wants to apologize. Back in the day, Yumi heard a rumor that Futaba liked Nato, who was her crush. She didn't want to believe it and went to Futaba to confirm it. But when she saw her looking at Nato as he was leaving, she felt betrayed. She wasn't logically thinking and didn't even try to ask her. Even though she knew Futaba would end up getting alone, she still abandoned her. Futaba tells Yumi she never liked Nato. There was another person whom she loved. It was Ko, Nato's friend. But after summer, when Ko wasn't coming, every day she asked Nato if he knew anything about him. At that time, Futaba never realized it would give a wrong idea to everyone. Hearing this, Yumi feels pathetic. She knows those years will never come back, but still, she apologizes. Futaba bids her goodbye and leaves. On her way, she wonders if loving the same person leads to this. But she also doesn't want to hide her love for Ko anymore, and will definitely tell Yuri about it. However, days pass by but Futaba hasn't said anything. She is having a hard time talking to Yuri and trying to avoid her as much as possible. However, because of this, Yuri is misunderstanding that she did something wrong. She decides to find Futaba so she can talk about it. On the other side, Futaba is sitting wondering if maybe she should not tell Yuri and love Ko in secret. But just then, Ko comes out of the window and covers her mouth. He is trying to avoid his brother because he doesn't want to eat dinner with him. After Tanaka-sensei leaves, Ko tells Futaba about Yuri looking for her and seems a bit worried. This is the moment when Futaba realizes what she has been thinking was wrong. For her, Yuri is a precious friend to whom she doesn't want to lie. She finally decides to tell her the truth. And after it, it will be Yuri who'll decide if she wants to continue this friendship or not. After school ends, Futaba decides to go to a donut shop where she'll tell Yuri the truth. However, one unexpected thing happens. Yuri invites Shuko as well. For Futaba, telling the truth to Yuri was already too much, but now in front of Shuko too she is having second guesses. But still, she stays firm with her decision, and in the donut shop, she confesses. To Futaba's surprise, Yuri is amazed to know how great Ko is that every girl is after him. But she is a bit sad to have a disadvantage to win Ko's love since Futaba has known him a lot longer than her. Futaba assures her that she doesn't need to feel that way. Earlier, Ko told her he didn't have any feelings for her. So in fact, she is already rejected in a way. After knowing this, Yuri is a bit relieved. And like a true sportsman, tells Futaba that no one will feel bitter if the other succeeds. Futaba agrees. While Yuri goes to the restroom, Futaba is wondering why she didn't tell it sooner if this was going to be so easy. Inside the restroom, Yuri is emotional about knowing her precious friend has fallen in love with the same boy as her. She can understand it must have been hard for Futaba to confess, and that's why she decides to have a fair battle to win Ko's heart. After Yuri returns, both Shuko and Futaba notice her eyes red, and understand she was crying. They don't say anything and just carry on their conversation. Shuko suddenly confesses her love for Tanaka-sensei. Futaba is in shock because this was so unexpected. She notices Yuri has no reaction and asks if she knew about it. Shuko shares how she didn't want to tell anyone, but Yuri happened to see her with Tanaka-sensei. She told her to keep it a secret, but today after seeing both of them, she felt she should share it. Shuko expresses she doesn't like hanging out, and this is the first time she has ever spent time with someone else of her age. Futaba and Yuri are happy to know it. Before they leave, Shuko emphasizes how awful their taste is in men. Later, Futaba is on her way home when she has an encounter with Ko. With everything being solved, she isn't hesitant to openly love Ko. She approaches him and sees he is worried about a cat as it has grown weaker since he last came here. Futaba asks why he doesn't take it home if he loves the cat so much. Ko just says caring for things brings a lot of trouble. After this, as he is about to leave, Futaba stops him and asks where is he going this late. Ko tells her it's a secret. Futaba's curiosity kicks in and she starts following him. She ends up in a city where there are a lot of boys looking at her. Futaba ignores them and notices Ko is sitting with a few older boys she has never seen. She approaches him and asks what he is doing. Ko is surprised to see her. He is a bit pissed and asks why she followed him. Futaba doesn't want to say she was stalking him, so she says she came here to tell him to study for the midterm exams or else he will fail. One of Ko's friends asks if he can date the girl. Ko laughs and tells them she eats more than boys, has chubby legs, and doesn't have a trace of femininity. But the guy says he doesn't care. He can see the girl has some nice things he can play with. Ko smiles and expresses his disgust to hear from someone whom he calls his friend. He is now pissed and leaves. Ko tells Futaba to go to the station, but she still follows him. He buys 2 drinks, and they both sit in front of the river. After today, Futaba is worried about Ko. She asks if he does bad things like drinking or smoking. Ko refuses, it's only the people he hangs around with do. Futaba tells him there is no need for him to hang around with such people. Instead of them, he can talk to her or other people from the school. As Futaba lies down, Ko tells her she is letting her guard down too much. Futaba laughs, she knows he doesn't like her, and also he would never do something to her that would hurt her. Ko suddenly grabs her hands and gets on top of her. He reminds her that she is underestimating men. Women are a lot thinner, weaker, and softer. Every man doesn't think about caring for a woman as long as they can have their way. As he is about to kiss her, Futaba widens her eyes. But Ko just flicks her head and tells her that she is lucky that this time it's him. Because another person wouldn't care a bit. Ko warns her to not come to such places if she cares for her safety. Futaba starts crying. Ko apologizes for scaring her. Futaba is indeed scared about what could have happened, but she is also hiding her embarrassment because she got excited when Ko was about to kiss her. The next day at school, Futaba shares with others how every night Ko goes out to spend time with older people, and because of this, she is worried about Ko's studies. Shuko also shares how a few days ago, she heard Tanaka-sensei talking with Ko about his results. They were so low that sensei was worried Ko might not advance to the next grade. And the strange thing is, Ko doesn't want to work hard and is willing to drop out if that happens. After knowing this, Futaba and Yuri wonder what they should do to make sure Ko doesn't drop out. After lunch, in class, Futaba is staring at Ko and wondering what she should do. Ko notices her and asks her the reason she is staring. Futaba replies she is not staring. But Ko again tells her to not lie because he saw her. Futaba is reluctant and keeps on refusing. Eventually, they are caught by the teacher. After apologizing, the teacher let them go. As the class ends, Ko looks at Futaba's face and notices it's a bit different. Futaba shares she did a bit of makeup today to be attractive. Before leaving with Minato, Ko wipes off the lipstick and tells her it doesn't suit her. On the way, 2 of Ko's former classmates meet him. Both of them are from advanced classes. Ko used to be, but because of his sudden drop in results, the students believe Tanaka-sensei must have pulled some strings to make sure Ko ends up in the advanced class. But now, after seeing him find his actual standards, both of them are very happy. Minato grabs their collars and threatens if they ever insult his friend again, he will make sure they will not be in the right state to flex their results. Both of the boys get scared and leave. Outside, Yuri is sitting alone. After what she saw, she is wondering if they both are already dating. Tanaka-sensei notices her and comes to ask if everything is okay. Yuri doesn't reveal what she was actually thinking, and asks if it's true Ko got bad results in the first year. Tanaka-sensei says that it is true. He can see how worried she is and shares that Ko has always been a tough person, trying to handle matters on his own. But whenever he saw his older brother, he used to unconditionally rely on him. A few years ago, there was trouble in their family, and since then Ko has stopped relying on him. And that's why he thanks Yuri for worrying for him, because these are times Ko needs his friends the most. After knowing this, Yuri shares with others and decides to help Ko in his studies on weekends. On Saturday, when they are just about to arrive at Ko's house, Minato tells him to get ready. At first, Ko thinks it's a dream, but he soon realizes it is not. He rushes to lock the door, but he is too late. After getting in the room, the four of them decide to cover separate topics they are good at. But Ko just lies on his bed. He is not interested in studying at all. After a lot of requests, he gives in and joins. Before proceeding, Yuri suggests drinking some juice and asks Ko to bring some glasses. After he goes, she soon goes after him to help in bringing them. Downstairs, while cleaning the glasses, Yuri wants to ask Ko how he feels about Futaba, but she isn't able to. After they are done cleaning, Yuri accidentally kicks a bag of potatoes. She goes to pick them up, but there she notices something. Back upstairs, it has been quite some time since Ko and Yuri went to bring the glasses. So Futaba goes to check if there's any need for an extra person. Upon reaching, she witnesses Ko and Yuri coming out from a dark, empty room. Ko leaves without saying anything. But when Futaba asks Yuri if anything happened, Yuri, while blushing, refuses and leaves. However, Futaba is conflicted, because Yuri's expression doesn't match with what she said. Upstairs, while studying, Futaba can't help but think about what could have happened. And the fact Yuri is avoiding eye contact, it's making her crazy. She believes it's possible that any one of them confessed, or they might even have kissed. While Minato is teaching maths, he is amazed to see how quickly Ko understands things. He is curious and asks why he started to hate studying. Ko says it's not that he hates studying, it's just he doesn't need it anymore. They ask him what he means by it, but Ko prefers not to tell them. After a few hours, they are done with studying and head home. On the way, Futaba again asks Yuri about what happened, but this time also she says nothing happened. After bidding them goodbye, Futaba can't stop thinking and goes to talk to Ko herself. But upon reaching, she sees he is heading out somewhere. Ko still has some time, so he asks what she needs. They go inside, and after gathering courage, Futaba asks if anything happened between him and Yuri when she found them coming out of the room. Ko realizes she has some misunderstanding. He grabs her hand and takes her inside the room. There, Futaba is in shock to see it's an altar for Ko's mother. Ko tells her that earlier when Yuri saw this, she had the same reaction as her. Futaba finally understands why Yuri was hesitant and didn't want it to tell to her without Ko's permission. Futaba gets emotional for being so stupid. She feels bad for thinking something romantic happened between them and they were hiding from her. Ko tells her she cries a lot and calms her down. Futaba grabs Ko's shirt and asks why he wants to go away from her. She requests him to not quit school because she wants to be with him. Ko wipes off her tears. As they are looking at each other, Tanaka-sensei comes. He immediately hides behind the wall and apologizes for interrupting. Ko clarifies him he was just calming her down after she learned about their mother's death. As usual, Tanaka-sensei has come to make the dinner, but Ko has a part-time job. So before leaving, he tells Tanaka to drop her off. After he leaves, Futaba asks if they don't get along. Tanaka believes that Ko hasn't forgiven him. He shares that when their parents divorced, it was decided that Ko would stay with their mother and he with their father. Not realizing how hard things would get for Ko, he soon became a teacher. But just around that time, their mother got sick and hospitalized. After examination, it was found out she had lung cancer, which was at a terminal stage with a maximum of 6 months remaining. Because he used to live far away from the hospital, only once in a while he was able to meet their mother. But whenever he came, he only saw her getting thinner and thinner. There were times when he couldn't gather the strength to enter the room. And the fact Ko was seeing it all by himself each and every day, Tanaka-sensei believes that deep down, Ko hasn't forgiven him for putting all the burden on him. After they reach Futaba's home, Tanaka-sensei thanks her for taking care of Ko until now. And he hopes she will continue to do so. Futaba remembers the time when Ko said he doesn't want to care for things because they bring a lot of trouble. She now understands what he meant by it. And that's how Ko she used to know has changed. The next day at school, on the roof, Futaba apologizes to Yuri for thinking they were hiding something romantic from her, when in reality it was about Ko's mother. Yuri tells her to not feel bad, because a part of the reason she didn't tell her was that she wanted to be a special person to Ko, who knows his secret. Both of them get emotional and hug each other. In class, Minato is already planning the next study session, and it is making Ko terrified. After school ends, they all go to the library to start the study session. Ko goes out to use the restroom, but they all soon realize he tricked them and left home with his bag. Futaba is furious. She can't believe how he can do this when everyone else is trying so hard. They all go after him, but even after searching for a long time, they aren't able to find him. Everyone gives up for now but promises that the next time they will not get fooled. After everyone leaves, Futaba directly goes to confront Ko, but it's Tanaka-sensei who opens the door, because Ko hasn't arrived yet. Futaba has her suspicions about where Ko might be. She goes to the same place where she stalked him before, and luckily she finds him there. After convincing him, they walk home. On the way, she tells Ko that if he keeps on abandoning his studies it would only make his mother sad. But Ko says, at this point, he doesn't care. He used to think about it, but he concluded it doesn't matter anymore. Watching his mother grow thin every day and going to meet her just to wait for her to die in the coming days, it's not something he expects her to understand. He asks her why she and others are trying so hard to get involved with his life. Like his mother, he doesn't want to attach to anyone and suffer the same pain again. Futaba aggressively hugs him, but they end up falling. While sitting on top of him, she tells him that just because he has lost something precious, it doesn't mean he doesn't deserve to live his life anymore. He doesn't have to take any big responsibility. He just has to start with small while continuing to enjoy small moments together with people who love him. Ko hugs her and tears come out. He feels so relieved because all this time, he was waiting for someone else to permit him to live his life again. After some time, when Futaba tries to let go, Ko holds her even tighter. And only after wiping off his tears, he let her go. Futaba is blushing. She realizes this is the time when one should confess their feelings. But as she tries to say something, her stomach makes a loud noise. Ko understands it's gotten late, so he decides to grab something on their way home. Futaba wants to eat together, but then remembers that Tanaka-sensei is waiting at home. So she tells Ko that he should eat there instead. Ko isn't in the mood to go. Futaba tells Ko how Tanaka-sensei feels he resents him for not being in the place when he needed him the most. Ko is surprised to hear it. He understood how far his brother lived, and no way he could have come to meet their mother more often. Futaba is glad that it was just a misunderstanding between these two. She encourages Ko to say this to Tanaka-sensei because it will free up a lot of burden from him. After arriving, they both go their separate ways. Ko arrives home. Tanaka-sensei requests him to eat dinner, but Ko goes straight upstairs to his room. After a few minutes, when their father comes home, surprisingly, now Ko goes downstairs to join them. Their father expresses how glad he is to see Ko. As everyone sits down and is about to eat, Tanaka-sensei gets emotional. To see the three of them eating again together is the dream he hoped to see. Ko tells him that he never resented him. All this time, he never joined him to eat dinner because he felt unworthy. Ko thinks this because, while he was staying with his mother, whenever she came to ask him to eat dinner together, he always refused, just so he could study more, and later when he found some time he would then eat it. It was only after their mother died that he realized he didn't even spend those little moments with her. And that's why he thought he was unworthy to enjoy any moment with anyone else. But after today he realized he was wrong. Both Ko's father and Tanaka-sensei are happy to hear it. And after a very long time, they all eat dinner together. The next day at school, Futaba is nervous. She doesn't know how to act in front of Ko after their yesterday's interaction. A few seconds later, Ko enters the class and takes his seat. But when he looks at Futaba, he starts to blush. Futaba can't believe how freaking cute Ko is. Just then Minato comes and scolds Ko for fooling them yesterday. Ko apologizes and asks if they can have the study session today. This was so unexpected, everyone is surprised as well as amazed. And just like planned, until the exams, they all help Ko in studying. After a few days, when the results are out, Ko actually achieved better results than all of them. Everyone at first is kinda depressed, but in the end, They all are happy and looking forward to their summer vacation. Summer vacation has started, and just as planned, everyone is going to the fireworks festival. Yuri doesn't want to miss this chance and decides to wear a yukata to impress Ko. At night, when she joins Futaba and Shuko, both of them are stunned to see her. Futaba feels jealous because Yuri is looking very cute. Yuri tells Futaba that today she is going to make every effort to win Ko's heart. Soon, Minato and Ko also join. Ko notices Yuri's yukata and compliments her. Futaba is getting jealous to see them. Just as planned, Yuri tries her best to make sure she stays close to Ko. At the festival, they eat and play a lot of games. There's still some time for the fireworks, so Ko decides to bring some more food. Yuri also tags along. After buying it on the way, Yuri's leg starts to get hurt because of the sandals. While she is trying to put the bandage on, Ko informs Minato it will take some time to return because Yuri's legs are hurting. After the call, Ko notices Yuri is having trouble putting on the bandage because of her yukata. So he helps her. Looking at Ko, Yuri feels this is the right time to confess her love. Because she fears that if she didn't, she might not get another chance. As the fireworks start to explode, Yuri confesses her love. Ko is surprised to hear it. He thanks her, but expresses he doesn't share the same feeling. Yuri is heartbroken. Deep down she knew Ko loves Futaba, but still, it's painful. Just then, Futaba comes running. She is panicking and asks Yuri if everything is fine. She got scared when Minato told her Yuri's leg is in bad shape. Despite getting rejected, Yuri is glad to see how much worried Futaba is. She calms her down and tells her it's not a big deal. After the fireworks end, Ko and Futaba are on the way home. Just by thinking Yuri and Ko were spending a lot of time alone, she is getting restless. She can't help but think if someone confessed to each other. Next to a shrine, they see a poster of the summer festival organized in the next week. It's the same festival which Ko and Futaba planned 3 years ago. Because Ko wasn't able to come, he asks her if she wants to go with him. Futaba asks if it's just the two of us. Ko replies yes. Futaba immediately agrees. She is very happy and says she is going to wear a yukata. But Ko fears she would look like a pig then. Looking at Ko's smile, Futaba is not even mad and ends up laughing as well. But jokes aside, Ko says he wants to see her in yukata. Futaba, while blushing, agrees. After some time, as they are about to part ways, Futaba stops Ko because she doesn't feel like going home yet. Ko pulls her towards him and reminds her not to let her guard down in front of a man. Futaba says she trusts him and with him, she is not afraid. As Ko holds her tightly, he snaps back and tells Futaba he is going to walk her home. Futaba is freaking out because she has never seen this reaction from Ko. After some time, Ko drops her off and leaves. Futaba at her home can't help but feel her heart beat rapidly. She decides to confess her love at the summer festival. If you enjoyed the recap, please consider liking and subscribing this channel. Have a wonderful day ahead.